Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So within today's video, I do want to speak about the forward position, which is going to be regarding Vitor, Roque, and Julian Alvarez. And we're also going to be talking about, lastly, about Ansu Fati, because there is some massive updates regarding this player, and we are going to need this player later down this week. So thank you guys so much for joining in for today's video. If you guys are new here, welcome to this Barcelona YouTube channel. If you want to support this YouTube channel, you can so by liking this video and also subscribing to this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So I hope everybody's having a great week, and let's get to it. Let's talk about the forward position. And the first thing that I do want to speak about is about Lewandowski, because there is one thing that I have been noticing about Lewandowski, and that is that he is not in his best form. He's just simply not. I called this out back in January, which was earlier this year, and I was saying that this player is not at his best. He's missing too many opportunities, and many were saying, Kevin, you're being too harsh. Please stop hating on Lewandowski. You don't know what you're talking about. And now we sit here today knowing that, yes, it was always true that Lewandowski has not been at his best. And I saw this problem super early because I'm like, okay, he's going through a slump, something that we have not seen before at Bayern Munich, and who knows how long this is going to be lasting, because we still see today that Lewandowski is not in his best form. Since like the end of this World Cup, this has been going on. So there has been so many opportunities that Lewandowski has been receiving in the past few games where he could have scored, he could have made that pass, but it did not happen. And that is why, as of late, Barcelona have not been getting the best results. Now, of course, it is a collective problem that this Barcelona team have not been getting the best results, but I felt like if Lewandowski was 100%, we probably would have been in a much different position. And this makes me think of two things. Point number one, we cannot always rely on Lewandowski. We need to have another plan B if Lewandowski is not 100% correct. You're probably going to be hearing Xavi Hernandez that Lewandowski has been doing his job and blah blah blah. That's what he should be saying. Xavi Hernandez is not going to be saying Lewandowski has not been doing anything, he's not been 100%. He's saying what he needs to say. And the other thing that I do want to point out is there needs to be some sort of idea on who our next striker is going to be after Lewandowski, right? Is those two things that do come up in my mind when I see Lewandowski performing like this, is that we cannot rely on this player 100% of the time through the season. And point number two is we need to have another striker, another brand new striker, a striker that can be here for the next 10 years. Right now we are treating Lewandowski like if he was a young 21-year-old striker, someone who is going to be here for the next 6 to 7 years, and he's young, but he's not. He's like 35 years old, 36 years old. And I have no problem with Lewandowski staying here, but again, Barcelona needs to have a plan B. Now, I'm also not saying that Lewandowski needs to perform at a level where he needs to score 2 goals every 90 minutes. I'm not saying that, because I don't want us to get confused of Lewandowski trying to replace Lionel Messi, right? We're not trying to put Lewandowski in that type of level. What I want from Lewandowski is to just be more precise, faster, more focused, more goals, being able to come up in situations where we really do need him. Like for example, in the game against Manchester United, we needed Lewandowski, but he ghosted, which is why I do want to introduce Vitor Roque and Julian Alvarez, two players who have, by coincidence, have been brought up to the media. And I strongly believe that these could be two players that could replace Lewandowski, not necessarily as in let's sell Lewandowski and bring in these two players. I'm talking about let's have all of these players together in one team so everybody can complement each other. And let's start with Vitor Roque. And he did have an interview a couple of hours ago to Sport, and this is what Vitor Roque did say about his situation. I'm ready to make a move to FC Barcelona. As for the interest of Barcelona, that's a great motivation. It's very important. I see it as a reason to want to aspire for more, to work more, which is what I do. Barcelona is a dream, not only of mine, but also of any player who appears in the scene. If I ended up there, it would be a great joy for my family and me. Therefore, I have to continue working hard and hope that everything materializes with the tempo. What do I think about Lewandowski? When I see him on TV, I always notice his great skill of scoring, which I think is his strongest point. He is spectacular. I have always followed him at Bayern Munich and now at FC Barcelona. It would be ideal for me to work with Lewandowski, because if I had a player like him on my side, it would be amazing. I would try to learn as much as I could. If this ends up happening, then for sure it will be very important for my career. That would be a wonderful thing. Then he praised Gavi and Pedri, and this is what he said. Gavi and Pedri are two under 20 players like me. It represents an added motivation to know the club's values and above all the quality of the players. And so here's the thing, right? The fact that this player has again spoken to the media and said, I only want FC Barcelona, I'm ready to play for FC Barcelona, it shows you that he is committed to this club. Like there are clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester City, PSG who are interested in Vitor Roque and can give him a good contract, but this player only wants FC Barcelona. It's very similar to what Luis Suarez went through back in 2014, saying that yes, I know that and I understand that there are clubs out there in Europe that do want me, but I want to go to FC FC Barcelona because I see myself there. I told my family and I told my friends that I only want FC Barcelona. And so to see this amount of confidence coming from Vitor Roque at just 19, 20 years old to say that he is ready to play for Barcelona, I can't wait to see this player next season. Hopefully it does end up happening. And the fact that he's going to be getting a chance to learn from Lewandowski, like what he did reference throughout this paragraph and this interview, this is a great opportunity. And I wished that Vitor Roque could learn from Luis Suarez also, because I think that Luis Suarez is very similar to Vitor Roque, or Vitor Roque is very similar to Luis Suarez. And I think that he would much rather learn from Suarez than Lewandowski, because Suarez is someone who knows how to do take-ons inside the box, something that Vitor Roque also likes to do. He even said, which is very funny, I'm seeing this notification here, that Vitor Roque does think that he plays much more like Luis Suarez than any other striker. So I wished he had that opportunity, but for Suarez, his time was not on his side to continue his run at Barcelona. So it's going to be very interesting to see just what type of profile this player ends up being. I do think that he will be someone that will run behind the lines, like what you guys see here. He's very spectacular at that, something that Luis Suarez did in his youth years with Liverpool and Barcelona, and this is also something that we are missing. Lewandowski cannot run behind the line and look for those spaces to receive the ball. Now this is going to transition me to Julian Alvarez, because another option that Barcelona could be looking at, and I know that you guys have been wanting me to talk about this, it is again this Argentinian striker and also an Argentinian left winger. And it says here, according to Fabrizio Romano, Manchester City have offered Julian Alvarez a new contract with a improved salary, but there's no green light as of yet. Manchester City do love him and they want to continue to negotiate, but here's the key, right? Julian Alvarez wants to feel important during this contract renewal and wants more playing time. Now right there, that last sentence is key, because look, one of the reasons why Julian Alvarez is kind of in a way delaying this renewal is because he wants to feel important. He wants to feel like, okay, when I go to this club, I know that I'm going to be seeing a lot of minutes. And that's very natural to hear, because when you win a World Cup and you are one of the reasons on why you win the World Cup, you're going to be asking for more minutes. You're going to be questioning, why am I not a starter for Man City when I've already proved myself at the highest level of football, which was at the World Cup? I scored goals, I provided assists, I showed the work rate. Why am I not seeing more minutes or more prominence in my club? And I remember this happened to almost every French player back in 2018 when they won the World Cup and they went back to their clubs. They were asking for bigger salaries, bigger opportunities, bigger importance, etc., etc. And I don't think that this is greed coming from Julian Alvarez, because he just wants to capitalize off of his success and upgrade his career. Because remember, like about a year and a half ago, Julian Alvarez went from playing for River Plate to representing Man City and representing Argentina in the World Cup. And so of course he wants to upgrade his career and as soon as possible. But since the World Cup was over, he has been seeing a lot of inconsistency in minutes. He has been playing in different positions, and one day he's a starter and one day he's not a starter. And Julian at the World Cup, he was phenomenal. Like I've said, his work rate against the Netherlands, against France, the way that he pressed Australia and scored that goal for Argentina, it was amazing. And so for whatever reason, right, and if the sporting staff say, okay, look, we do value you, we think that you're a great player, but we have to continue to work at this type of level where we have Erling Haaland come in for 60% of the time and then having you come in for 40% of the time, and maybe sometimes we have both of you guys starting in the starting 11. If they stay like that and they stay in that type of stance, and Julian Alvarez says, I may not be okay with that, I want to be a starter in every game, then I do in some way see Man City saying, okay, let's loan out this player. Because that is one of the stories that has been coming out, is that Man City could be loaning out Julian Alvarez to a different club, because again, Alvarez wants to have more playing time, and Pep Guardiola could be pushing for that, because Pep has always said, if I don't have players who are 100% committed at my club, I don't want to keep them. And there was this interview where Pep Guardiola did say that, look, the reason why I say that I don't want to force any player and I'd rather have them leave is because I know, right, because I have been there. I know how short a player career actually is, and it makes no sense to keep a player frustrated or tense for 1 to 2 seasons knowing how short their careers actually is. It goes by in a flash, which is why Pep is doing everybody and all of his players a favor when they feel like they do not see themselves here and they want to go somewhere else and find different opportunities. Pep Guardiola is not going to be forcing them to stay. He wants these players to have a great and fun career and wants them to do whatever they do want to do, which is why he does have that type of philosophy. If again they're not 100% there, then he'd rather just have them leave. Even if they're 99% there, he wants them to go to a different club. And I hope that Julian Alvarez does see Barcelona as an opportunity, because remember, there was a tug of war that was happening about a year ago where Barcelona wanted this player badly. Julian Alvarez was also very interested, but in the end, Man City came into the picture and they locked down that deal very, very quick. So if you were to leave, Barcelona will be the second option. And now lastly, just for some quick updates, I just want to talk about Ansu Fati just really quick. And it does say here, according to Javi Miguel, that Ansu Fati is going to resume group training tomorrow. If the feelings are good by tomorrow, then he'll be called up for the Clásico this week. Now remember, Ansu Fati did encounter an injury about 4 or 5 days ago, which is the reason why Ansu was not featured in the game against Almeria. But now seeing that Ansu Fati could be returning very soon and maybe in time for the Clásico, we need this player. We need strikers, because right now, if we're not going to be having Lewandowski, who's currently injured, then who else is going to be playing in those positions? Is it going to be Rafinha and Ferran with Gavi in the front three? We need another player, and that player could be Ansu Fati. And a lot of things has been going on very well for Ansu, even though like physically he has not been, or I would say mentally he has not been in his best form. There's been other reports coming from Marca that the Spanish head coach, which is De La Fuente, did actually call up Ansu Fati and has said that you are the future of this national team. So things are slowly building for Ansu. I hope that he does return in time for the Clásico. I hope that he also does get playing time with the Spanish national team, and let's see what happens. The world is for Ansu Fati, and I hope that he does take it. So that will be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.